Greetings, friends. Reformed Stoic, back to another video. It's been a little bit. We got to get back in the swing of things. So I made a video a couple weeks ago, a month ago. Time is going by fast. My individualist philosophy. Now, it was almost an hour long. I understand it can be hard to buckle in and go for the ride sometimes. But I feel like that's one of the most important videos on my channel in terms of my recent content. And I feel like my recent content is my up-to-date view of the things I believe, my worldview. So I think that's some of my best work. And that video only got like 216 views. So I need to try to say this in a way to make a light bulb go off in your head. I need people to understand. So we're going to try to keep it somewhat short this time. But I'm going to approach it from some different kind of angles. So first of all, individualism is the opposite of collectivism. Collectivist ideologies would be like fascism and communism. What we have is a lot of people out there on the right in right-wing thought or far right-wing thought. A lot of young men, a lot of young white men, and they've been saying things like, what we need is a strong nationalist theocracy, like a Christian theocracy. A lot of times they're just kind of trying to like goose step around the term fascism or right-wing authoritarianism or Christian authoritarianism. And my take on that view at this point is it's like the Lord of the Rings. It's like LARPing, Lord of the Rings. I understand the ideal. If you want to put like a Templar shield up on your wall and like look at it and think about what should be and just kind of like shake your head and be like, we could have had it all. We could have had Mordor. If you want to do that, that's fine. A lot of you guys had that view 10 years ago. 10 years ago was 2016. Some of y'all were on 4chan. I mean, what's changed? Have you gotten closer to that? And it's not just that. It's not just that it's not going to happen. But if it does happen, you're probably still going to be a chud. And if anything, it would make your life worse. And the kind of pipeline that I see that would get us to some sort of right-wing authoritarianism, it would start as populism. A lot of people like to point out that Hitler was a kind of populist, and that led to an authoritarian regime. Populism is filled to the brim with normies. You are going to be outnumbered. The kind of regime that comes to power is probably not going to be the regime that you want. And I think a lot of young men are confused, lost. Speaking from my experience and me analyzing myself, when I was in that kind of a place where I was getting carried away with this idea, like what we need is a strong theocratic regime, I feel like that is trying to make up for the lack of a strong father figure in your upbringing or really any male role model worth a damn in your life at all. I feel like that is where it comes from. So, on one hand, it's not going to happen. Some of you have had this worldview for the last 10 years. How's it going? Are we getting closer? Do you want to embrace a worldview that might offer some change in your life, perhaps? And then second of all, if it does happen, if you do live to see some sort of a right-wing authoritarian regime, it's probably not going to play out the way that you want it to. But I'm going to hold up the first point stronger. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I look at the way that life is, and it's very much like Pandora's box. You look at people with their nostalgia. I miss going to Blockbuster. I got an idea. Let's bring back Blockbusters in every town. And then you try to go to Blockbuster. You try to look through the selection, and you try to ignore the fact that streaming services and Netflix and all this stuff exists to where you can just watch any movie you want at any time. But it just doesn't work. It's a Pandora's box kind of a thing. So that's one kind of an example. Then a more relevant example is like women's suffrage, feminism. If, I was going to say we, this isn't we girls, this is just an example. If the metaphorical we tried to create a Handmaid's Tale kind of society, and just this whole like sticking it to women, like, hey, guess what, girls? Repealed every single wave of feminism. Let's go all the way back to how things were before that. Women would make underground railroads and revolt and throw tampons at people and burn down houses and villages. It's not going to happen. Pandora's box is open. Women, before women's suffrage, could not comprehend society as it is today, just as you could not comprehend Netflix and streaming services as it is today. You look back fondly on Blockbuster, and then I would even go as far as to say looking back fondly on the traditional marriages and the nuclear family, and I am here to tell you that that is over. And someday you'll be able to be okay with that. But the trad, right wing, come, we need to take back the Holy Lands from the Saracens and the Templar memes, and what we need is a strong theocracy, you guys. It's over. And the church is, I guarantee you, like the leaders of the majority of churches, they do not want that. They are not going to allow that to happen. And you know me and my history of saying that there's feds everywhere. Well, I'm not as dramatic about it anymore, but yeah, I do believe that there are intelligence connections to churches making absolute sure that nothing like that ever happens. And if it did ever happen, women wouldn't want it. It's just a pipe dream. It's autism. It's Lord of the Rings. That's actually Jurassic Park. Damn, I hate when that happens. I hate when I mix up the Jurassic Park theme with the Lord of the Rings theme. If I take one more step, it'll be the furthest I've ever been from the Shire. Can't remember the Lord of the Rings theme. Anyway, guys, trying to be serious here, trying not to waste too much time. Yeah, we're almost at the 10 minutes mark, so let's try to take this home. That is my take on authoritarianism, right-wing authoritarianism, theocracy. First and foremost, it's just not going to happen. People don't want it. I don't want it at this point. I don't want it. So let's take a look at some of the, this concept of Pandora's box. It's just not the way anymore. Things are outdated, or things change. So one thing that is outdated, when people talk about the societal contract basically not existing anymore. The social contract is gone, okay? We had this kind of alien ant farm society. Somebody said that today. We had this kind of ant farm, more of a collectivist society. I would say that the further you go back, society was more collectivist. And we are becoming more individual. But they're trying to maintain the image of the collectivist way, of the societal contract for anyone who is willing to accept it. And it is held up by shame. Social norms, shame. And for men, first and foremost, it's be a man. This is what men do. Well, a man would do this, a man would do that, a man would do that. And the highest achievement is women or getting a woman. And it's funny how it's just kind of either or. It's just kind of like, oh, do you go to church? Well, then the highest ideal is getting a wife. Do you not go to church? I mean, most of universities are atheist, and atheism is still, like, pretty popular, to say the least. It's just like the society tries to be a chameleon. It's like, oh, you go to church? Well, then your highest ideal is getting a wife and having a family. Oh, are you an atheist? Then your highest ideal is whatever, maybe getting a wife or banging lots of women or whatever, just women on a stick held over your head. And the idea that if you work hard at a 9-to-5 job, you will get a woman. That is no longer the case. And there's been plenty of videos made about that. People have already gone on and on and on about that. That's all that needs to be said about that. You guys know that that is true. Doing what men do, being a man, like they whip you with the be a man. Be a man. You're not being a man. You're not being a man. This is what men do. And then they try to reward you with the, if you do whatever we tell you to do, you'll get a woman. Not true. You'll get a woman. Not true. So the illusion that doing what society wants you to do will get you a woman, that's not true. And this whole, like, be a man, everybody loves to say that. Like, a real man would do this. This is what real men do. Real men don't play video games, even though some guys, like, have made a living playing video games, and they're multimillionaires from playing video games. There's people that work, and I'm just going to give you a disclaimer here. I'm going to say some shit that sounds snobby. I've realized that it's unavoidable to sound snobby when I'm trying to give you this kind of knowledge, okay? And let's go ahead and go off on that segue. But what I was going to say to finish the statement is that there's guys that make $70,000 a year working 9-to-5s, and they hate their job, and they have kind of a dead-end life, and they go around telling people, like, men don't play video games. And they might stumble into somebody online who they say that to, who's a multimillionaire from playing video games. Because they did whatever they wanted. It's not like, oh, okay, video game's good, I'm going to play video games. It's because they did whatever they wanted. That's how you make money. That's how you break out in life. And I've noticed that a lot of the Christian mindset can be very, very, very harmful. I have a Catholic altar. I pray the rosary every day. I have a weird, eclectic version of Christianity, but I follow Jesus. In my opinion, it's the real Jesus. I'm just saying, I still consider myself some sort of a Christian, but I don't go to church, and it's like some fruity, like spiritual, my own way. So, try not to get tangled up here. It's not the video games in itself, because yeah, if video games for you are just like a pressure valve, and it's just a way for you to waste time, it's not about the video games. It's about doing whatever you want. People who do whatever they want are the ones who get ahead in this life. You have this kind of like playful energy. When I was a kid, I look back on my childhood so much because I had a little tiny room. We lived in like a trailer, and then eventually, like, it was a trailer on private property, so that, you know, there was like a lot of space outside to be creative and play. I had all these little forts all over the place. And then eventually, like, we got an addition on the trailer, like trailers batched together. I mean, it was kind of ghetto, but it was cool. I have fond memories of living there. And I had a tiny little room without a door, which I feel like that says something about my parents, that they never got me a fucking door. But I didn't really think of it. I didn't know any better. I was a child. I didn't have a fucking door. A room without a door. Man, that's actually like the first time at like 35 years old that I've even really sat here and thought, you know, maybe my parents should have got me a fucking door. But hey, whatever, no door for me. We moved out of that place when I was in second grade. So I was a very young child for whatever difference it makes. But I will say that my dad didn't like when I shut my door ever since then. So Interesting. I should have this thought process off camera, probably. I was in my tiny little room and I was playing imagination and I imagined vivid worlds and I had toys and toys were props in my imagination. That's the thing. Kids don't have toys anymore. They have iPads. The iPads do all the freaking imagination for you. Man, I had the little Power Rangers where you press the belt buckle and their head flips and they morph, and my teddy bears and all kinds of different action figures, army men, Legos. Like, I lived in just a world of imagination. What you want to do is you want to take that kind of energy and turn it into your career. And do I believe that everyone is capable of doing that? No. Because some people don't even have that in them. But for a lot of men, you do have that in you, but you are facing shame from society. Like, be a man, be a man, be a man, be a man. You're not going to get a woman if you don't be a man. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Be a man. Well, here's the woman. Here's the invisible woman who never seems to come. Even when you do what they tell you to do. The society as we knew it, we never knew it that way. We were born into this shithole society that's dying. But it used to be, if a man worked, he would probably be able to get a wife and kids. That was like the 50s, okay? What it actually was before that is, if you promise you will work very hard, here you go, here's a wife. That's how it used to be. It used to be the wife came, and then you worked, and then it was you worked, and you got a wife, and now it's you just fucking work and live a miserable existence and get shamed and gaslit for every single fucking hint of a complaint that you have that something doesn't seem right. It's basically becoming slavery, you guys. And there's something that you want to do, but it's very difficult to do that for a living. Now, this is where I want to put in the point that people say, you gotta do whatever it takes to make it. Nobody means that. What they mean when they say that is, you have to get a 9-to-5 job to make it. You have to go to college and get a career with a boss to make it. You either have to wear a blue collar or a white collar to make it. They don't mean do whatever it takes. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to live in an abandoned warehouse and fight crackheads for my own territory so I don't have to pay rent, and I'm going to get bags of donuts out of a fucking, like, right when they throw out, there's this whole, like, underground world of people who know right when they throw out the produce at, like, various different grocery stores and places you can eat. I'm gonna go get the free food right when they throw it out, make a deal with the guy. I'm going to cut corners and figure out a way to live this alternative existence so I can play fucking StarCraft all day because I'm really good and I think maybe I can make it. Or work on my comic book, or try to build my podcast, or save up money for better equipment for whatever it is I'm trying to do. And there's all kinds of different dreams, and a lot of dreams, like, yeah, an education is a part of it. There's people out there who, you know, struggle to, like, get through college, and I totally understand that at this point. See, I just don't really think college would really do anything for me and what I'm trying to do. But for some people, it might be what you need. But I wanted to put that point in here that when people say you gotta do whatever it takes, 99% of the time they mean get a 9-to-5 job, and it's the same shit. You're not a man, you're not a man, you're not a man. Here's a woman that you're not really ever gonna get. That's what they mean. They don't really mean do whatever it takes. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do what it takes. I'm gonna quit my job. No. I'm gonna be homeless. No. I'm only gonna do the thing that I want to do. No. And worst case scenario, I'm homeless and I know how to eat and I'll be a fucking bum and I'm either gonna make it or I'm gonna not. But there's no reason to live this dead-end fucking life that everybody else lives. So now here's the other point. There is a tweet going around on X, what they're saying about women, which I don't necessarily agree with. I still just think Chad only is like the top reality, but they say women either want the broke, delusional entrepreneur who couch surfs or the billionaire CEO. No in between. You either have to be fucking broke and delusional, or you have to have made it and work for yourself. They don't want a regular guy who works a 9 to 5. This is exactly related to what I'm saying in this video. I'm telling you to be the fucking delusional, broke couch surfer until you can achieve your dreams. And you spend your entire fucking life trying to achieve your dreams. Because the collectivist societal deal is broken. And now another thing that I thought of for this is like, oh, well, Stoic, what happens if everybody stops working their 9 to 5 jobs? Well, then I guess that we couldn't go to McDonald's anymore, and we couldn't go to Wendy's, and we couldn't go to Taco Bell, and all of the multi-billionaire creating fast food franchises would die out, and I guess we'd have to eat fucking healthier, and I guess billionaires wouldn't be able to be billionaires anymore, and it would solve every fucking problem that we have in the world. It would actually be amazing if everybody quit their 9 to 5 slave jobs. It would actually fix society, and it's the real solution. It's not going to happen. And ultimately, on some level, for you, the individualist, it's good that it's not going to happen. There's a normie matrix. There's a lot of people stuck in a 9 to 5 job. So now here comes the broader explanation of how this video sounds snobby, okay? And I've encountered this in the past, and there's just no avoiding it. There's people who are not living the life they want to live. There's people who listened to the slave stick. You're not a man, you're not a man, you're not a man, you're not a man. They wanted to win the fucking man award. I'm a real man. But somebody like me, who's a fucking eternal man-child, could knock them out in 5 seconds because I got the blammy. As long as they're not huge. I'm just saying, like, just for the example. It's like, I'm a real man, and they're overweight, and they don't get to sleep. They get 5 hours of sleep, and they're not healthy, and they're miserable, and they're gonna die early. But I'm a real man. Meanwhile, like the delusional couch surfing entrepreneur chads work out every fucking day because that's what they want to do. And because when you're healthier, when you look better, that's better for being an entrepreneur. I feel like it's part of my job to work out every single day. Because I'm trying to be a rapper, people are going to take me more seriously if I look like I'm Bowdy. So I got to work out every fucking day. That's a part of it. That should be a part of it for probably any entrepreneur, dude. If you're a video game Chad, you know, it's like I watch Caleb Hart, and he can squat like 600 pounds or some shit. He's incredibly strong. And it's just something that people talk about. And he's based. It's like, oh, dude, this guy's like a nerd, but he's based and he's strong, and like nobody can tell him what to do. And they didn't want him to go to Games Done Quick because he doesn't conform to the norm. And just giving like random examples, dude, just spitfiring. But the more time that goes on, I'm like, this is not just some crazy tangent in my head. This is real fucking life, you guys. And ultimately the battery is not like fully charged on my camera right now. But that's good because I need to just wrap this up before this is half as long as the other video. So in summary, you guys, the societal contract is broken. Okay, what everybody's told growing up is you gotta work really hard or you're gonna end up homeless, or you're not gonna be able to get a woman and get married. Dude, you can't get a woman and get married anyway. Getting married is a mistake. This society wants you dead. Nobody fucking cares about you. I would just point you to the other video. I heavily went over the church stuff. Like, oh, I'm such a good person. God's given me these struggles. Like, only people who are evil are successful. The worldly success only happens for people who sold their souls. That's why I have a miserable fucking life, because I'm doing what God wants me to do. I don't believe any of that, man. I don't believe any of that. Jesus said not to worry about how you eat. Jesus said not to worry about anything. The Old Testament says if you don't work, you don't eat. Hey, you know, the Sumerian Anunnaki story says that we were created to be slaves. Oh, well, that's kind of similar to if you don't work, you don't eat. I mean, I guess that's how slavery works. If you don't work, you don't eat. You want to turn the thing that you're about into work. You want to live in a free society, so you're able to do that. If you rally really hard for a right-wing authoritarian regime, I don't think it's ever going to happen. It's a waste of time, but it might happen. Then Sergeant, Commissar, General, Lieutenant, Dickfuck hands you a shovel, says, hey, guess what, comrade? Shovel that shit, because this is what God wants for you, to be a real man. And then women probably still won't want you, because women will kick and moan and piss and scream and be like, this is just like Handmaid's Tale. This is just like Handmaid's Tale. And they'll commit mass flips. That's probably exactly what would happen, dude. Pandora's box is open. It's over. Get over the authoritarian shit. It's not going to happen, and you don't want that. And nobody should want that. I feel like collectivism is kind of for stupid people, you guys. Okay? When you have burning passion within you, chase that fucking passion. Now, the one mistake that you can make, brace yourself, maybe offensive, is if you have kids. When you put children onto the planet, if you don't take care of them, if you say, see ya, Bucky, somebody in my chat the other day said abandon Maxie. If you abandon Max on your children, at that point you are kind of a piece of shit. And I do not advocate for that. I'm a fucking chud. I never had any kids. At least I don't think so. I kind of fucking cream-pied that chick in the mental hospital. Anyway, I don't think I have any children. I'm pretty sure I don't have any children, dude. Pretty sure that chick probably would have hit me up for child support, which would be fucked. I would be a slave if that happened. We're goody. That was a long time ago. You don't want to have children until you've made it. That's the one mistake you can make, guys, okay? If you have kids, she's going to hit you up for child support, and at that point, you don't have a choice. So, luckily for you, you're chud, and you don't have any kids, and I would just say, prepare yourself for the elements. A lot of you guys, well, I can live in my mom's basement, and it's fine. I'm just kind of depressed because my life's not going anywhere. When you have privilege, people are going to try to shame you out of having it. Like, if you were a real man, see, watch out for that one. If you were a real man, you would just say, no, mom and dad, I don't want to live in your basement. I'm going to go sign up for the draft. I'm going to go sign up for the military and serve my country. So you can try to impress people who don't give a fuck about you. Bro, the saying in my hometown that everybody fucking loved, posted on Facebook, was, respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And I'm just thinking, like, bro, so many of these people were so disrespectful to me, and then this is the kind of shit that they say to try to back it up. It's like, nah, you know, instead of earning your respect, how about just fuck you? I don't care about you. I don't want to earn respect from people who are shitty to me. And I saw that it was bullshit. I saw that, you know, if somebody's Chad, then they'll just get the respect and they'll just pretend that that person earned the respect. Fuck you. I told everybody to go fuck themselves. And last time I was there, they did their stupid, oh, I'm the neighborhood watch and I'm going to report you to law enforcement. For what? Having a YouTube channel and telling you to go fuck yourself? Whoa. It didn't matter. I'm winning. I'm actually winning, dude. I told everybody to go fuck themselves. And I'm winning. And I'm not there yet. And you don't want to count the eggs before they hatch. But I'm just telling you guys, I think this is all there is. And you will feel alive. This will make you feel alive. And people are talking about it on X. Still trying to get through the review. On X, it's like you're either a couch surfer and you got big ideas but you're getting nowhere, or you're a billionaire. That's who women want to be with. I don't necessarily think that's true, because I am basically that guy, and I can tell you if you're not Chad, women won't even fucking talk to you. They don't even want to hear anything about your life unless you're a good-looking guy. But maybe not. Try. I'm trying. I'm having a little bit of success. Honestly, I think I have some options right now, and they're just, it's pointless, you guys. Ultimately, that's what I said in some other videos recently, like, sex doesn't really matter. I mean, that's part of the normie thing. Like, oh, have sex. This whole, like, you're an incel, have sex, get married. And it's like chameleon. Like, oh, you go to church, then you have to get married. Like, oh, you're an atheist, then, I don't know, have a lot of sex or have a girlfriend or get atheist married or whatever. Just, you have to get women because it doesn't matter, dude. Like, everything that society wants for you doesn't matter. Watch the movie Ants. In Ants, the main character is like an average ant. This is the last part of the spiel I wanted to get out there. The main character is this ant, and he's kind of like average, mediocre, and he's like, there's no fucking point of this for me. Like, I can't get a woman. This isn't really going anywhere, and I just kind of feel like I'm a slave. And he realizes that the wars are pointless. They're all for depopulation. The military elite has a plot to drown the fucking colony for depopulation. It's all depopulation. And, like, the work that they're doing in the colony, in the ant hill, is actually working towards the water to drown everybody. Everybody's working towards their own death and demise, and the wars are solely for depopulation, and they're fucking pointless, and it's all rigged by the military elite. I think that movie's basically the meaning of life, dude. Ants from like 1999, DreamWorks movie. I mean, that's pretty much it. And him saying fuck this and going off, and he ends up hooking up with like the princess or whatever because he did whatever he fucking wanted to do, because he didn't try to conform. And it's offensive. There's a lot of fucking normies working 9 to 5s because they think that's what it means to be a man, because they listen to the shame, because it was more important to fit in with the people at the bar. And everybody at the bar is talking shit about me. But as time goes on, it's like, damn, it kind of seems like maybe something good's gonna happen in his life, and maybe we were wrong. Okay? Individualism. The collective doesn't care about you. There's no reward for it. The shame, like, you're an incel. You're not a man. You're not a man. You're not a man. You're not a man. It just doesn't really matter, dude. It just doesn't really mean anything. It seems like the normie mentality goes hand in hand with, like, aging terribly anyway. So eventually it's just evident that, like, you're more of a man than all of these people, even though they did what society said. And it's just kind of brutal, dude. They think it's really important to work hard. Maybe you figured out how to live in your grandma's basement or your parents' basement, or you got some sort of a deal, you got some sort of privilege, you're able to get a place, and you didn't work really, really, really hard for it. Who fucking cares? Just do it, okay? Because if you keep following that line of reasoning, it's like, oh, well, there's starving people in Africa who have fucking nothing. So I guess you better try to impress them. Why don't you try to impress the starving people in Africa, dude, who use click language? Like, just fucking take whatever advantage you have, play to your strengths, follow your dreams, do whatever the fuck you want to do, bro. I mean, when you say it like that, it's like, oh, that doesn't even really sound like individualist philosophy. That's just like something normal that people say. That's just like a motivational speech. You don't need to try to turn it into some over-intellectual thing. Like, chase your fucking dreams. You think that you're chud. You have not been doing great with women. Dude, if you don't have a kid, you are free. And people are like, the problem is you don't work really hard. That's because that's what most people do. And misery loves company. You want to take that play energy and turn your play into work. And then you will start working long hours. You'll start realizing, wow, I'm working overtime and I love it. And it will lead you to success. There's no guarantees, but you want to get to a point where it's like, if I'm never successful, then I got my chud pad, I'm able to eat, I'm able to exist, I'm able to survive, I have Wi-Fi, I have internet. You can do exactly what you're doing. Just being a fucking chud, reading shit. Most of the books I read, allegedly, I read them for free. If you're crafty on the internet, it's pretty easy to just do everything for fucking free, dude. That's what I got for you guys. You know, I could just sit here and blab and blab and blab and blab, but you know, that's 35 minutes. I mean, this is it. This is a video that I think people need to watch. God bless you guys. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.